Hey guys, what's up? Lone Berserker here, and this is a commentary one, I guess you could call it a 2 versus 3, on DEI on the campaign map actually. So this battle is taking place in Illyria. I think it's the Dalmate faction. I can't remember the name of this town. But this is Massa Max's Macedonians matched up with his Dardanoi allies of, I think they spawned in Thrace. And I am playing as the Thracian defender. So I'm not really gonna go over the armies. I mean, I guess I can, just simply because it takes a very long time before his allies or even his reinforcing army with artillery gets here. So you can see he's got artillery there. So yeah, it takes him a very long time to circle around here. So I guess I'll try and go over the armies. They're just a lot of mixed units. So over here, I have 3 Illyrian mercenary hoplites. And by the way, this isn't my faction. I'm just playing this. This is the AI's faction in Illyria. I'm just playing it, basically taking the AI's place, so they don't get steamrolled. I have 2 Illyrian tribesfolk. I think 6 Illyrian militia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 militia. 1 slave slinger. 1 Illyrian Xiphos peltist. 6 Illyrian slave javelin men. I was I was evacuating the town square because I thought he was gonna do that trick where you put archers and artillery up here and shoot into it. He doesn't do it now, but he does it in the later one, in another one. So I've got these Illyrian noble spearmen. Six of them. 2, 4, 5. That's an Illyrian hoplite. 6. Alright. 5 Illyrian noble hoplites. My general's an Illyrian corsair, which is a really cool unit, by the way. I've got Tolantian light infantry, Illyrian footmen, that word swordsmen. I think there was Illyrian hoplites here, Illyrian mercenary raiders, Illyrian footmen. Yeah, that's basically it. So the more interesting ones are the attackers forces here. So my enemy has 2 Macedonian light hoplites, 4 Saloy skirmishers. I need to lower this, guys. 2 Macedonian hoplites. 1, 2, 3, 4 royal pikemen. His general of a sacred squadron. He's got freaking hell 5 Sarissa lancers. That's his army. I'm not going to cover this army. I'll just cover his reinforcing one. He's got another general here. 2 Sarissas. 5 archers. 5 those crappy Greek infantry. 5 hoplites and the artillery piece. So he has a crappy reinforcing army just to support his main army in fighting the upcoming Romans. Why is this so laggy? So if my units were like jumping around there, so I was moving those guys out of the way. I didn't want to get shot by his units. Why are they doing that? Well, it should be fine. This might just be lag because of the amount of men that's on the field, so it might be a laggy one. This was a freaking huge one. There must be at least almost 12,000 on the field. No, it's higher than that, because there's 3,000 from this army, 3,000 from his reinforcing army. There's got to be at least 4,000 from this army. And then I had like 5,000 defenders. So I'll just try to round it up. 6, 11. So there's at least 16,000 on the field. This was definitely one heck of a siege. Now, I was determined to win this battle because I looked at my army and thought, this guy's an absolute madman for attacking this settlement, because even with his allies taking the brunt of the damage, he's gonna either make his allies lose their entire army or he's gonna lose a lot of troops. So, of course, the enemy army, well, that and his allies, the Dardanoi, they are used as fodder, and they're just sent in, and you'll see what happens to them. Now, it does get interesting much later on in the siege. There is a second part to this, however, I'm not going to upload it because it was just a futile attempt of me defending with what little I had left. So my plan here for defending the settlement was use these crappy Illyrian tribesmen and militia, and I guess the mercenary hoplites aren't crappy, but they're, I think, the worst of my hoplites. So my plan was to hold this outer ring with those crappy troops, and then fall back to this hill later on. And then, if things got really bad, I'd fall back to here. But my plan was, yeah, to make him use a lot of resources. Basically, most of his ammunition, I wanted it being used here. Then I would retreat to these towers and gate over here, and make him take casualties basically along the way. And hope that he would burn them down so he couldn't use them. And over here, you're not in range of any towers. If you fight in the forest, you're in range of this one. As you can see, the thing right there, so it goes up to here. He has the allies kind of, this is what I was hoping for, basically stuff like this, where they just waste their ammo and I could fire from the walls. So thing with barbarian settlements is I think it's kind of unfair. The Greek ones, not just Greek, but literally every other faction in the game besides barbarians, they have to deal with these freaking 3-foot stone walls. Now historically that is actually accurate, I will say that, but you can't freaking go up to a wall and throw a javelin over it in a Greek city. It's physically impossible. Now on the inside you can, but on the outside you can't. In this, however, doesn't even matter. So this slinger gets no kills, but in my opinion, it was worth it. You might not think it is, but honestly I do. I think the amount of ammo that was used on it was perfect. You can see he's wasting another volley here, so that's 4 volleys from 4 slingers, by the way. And the AI is just throwing more javelins at it for some reason. Now this was cool. I shot over my own walls down onto his Illyrians here. You can see I'm going to get a pretty good amount of kills. Now he's able to fire back, which I was astounded by, to say the least. God, this music, guys, I am sorry, but why is it so loud? Okay. So yeah, you can see he's going to take a ton of damage from those skirmishers there. And now his ally was going to attempt to burn the gate. Now, okay. So my opponent says he didn't do this on purpose. But I swear, he knew what was going to happen when that ladder reached that freaking wall. You'll see what happens, but he says he didn't do it on purpose. I say he did do it on purpose. We'll find out very quickly. So you can see that this is exactly what I'm talking about. He is wasting so much ammo here, and I am going to sally out with these Illyrian tribesfolk. They absolutely suck. The cool thing about them, though, is I didn't notice there were even any units like this in the game. It's a mixture of men and women, which I think is actually really cool. And obviously accurate, you know, like, in some, like Carthage, for instance, the siege of Carthage, the women were actually getting involved in the fighting. And the kids, so I think that part is actually really cool. I would like to see more units like that. However, I don't think there are many instances where we see that in history. I know historically in Pontus, later on, after Pontus was occupied by Rome, the Amazonian women and Caucasian women were fighting with the men. So, you know, you could add some units like that in, like horse archers or light lancers. That'd be really cool. And you can see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. As long as I have the hill advantage, and he's wasting ammunition on my skirmishers, which are using their ammunition at the same time, I'm perfectly fine with taking losses. Because although he has 5 reinforcing archers, these skirmishers are basically my least important units, and that's why I kept the 6 slave javelin back here. They're not the greatest, they're actually the worst of my skirmishers, but there's a lot of them, and they're in bulk, so as long as you have a skirmisher in bulk, no matter how bad or good it is, it's going to do a lot of damage. And you can see I actually do destroy this Agrionian Peltist, and the Agrionians in this game are very strong, so that was a good win for me. And I'm not even dead yet. I still have 127, so he did stop shooting. He moved over there to get a better ankle. Now here comes his ladder here. I was too slow to react, I'll say that. My Illyrian hoplites were way too far back. I should have just positioned them right here. That would have been the better move. But I do get them set up, you know, in this sort of arc formation here. You know, he's what I'm trying to do here is it worked for a little bit, but the general's gonna run away. I was gonna put the Illyrian militia up here and throw javelins down at him, It was kind of funny. So, you can see he's wasting ammo on the skirmisher that's now out of ammo, so in my opinion, that's a win for me. So I've done so far so good in terms of making him waste his ammo. So now he's gonna, the first of, well, I guess you could call it the only assault is beginning, and as you can see, this is what happens when you give the AI one breach point to get into the city. And you know, I knew this was coming because I've seen it many times before. I've done it, I do it to the AI purposefully because why would I take casualties when your units are worse and I don't even really care about you? Don't tell my allies that. Now, he's gonna come up here, he's gonna get shot by a bunch of arrow towers. Now he's gonna come down into the fight against hoplites that are braced in information. It's physically impossible for Illyrian units to break hoplites, I'm pretty sure, unless they're like the best of the best. Immediately I react with two militia and 2 slave skirmishers. I've already got I repositioned the hoplites, the noble hoplites. I got more skirmishers coming down too to position themselves here. I reposition everything. I go place a unit there for safety. I got this guy coming over. There's no assault over here, which I think it's the better place to assault in my opinion. There's more room. Oh, frig, we missed it. I sallied out with this skirmisher and attacked the general, and I'm pretty sure they friendly fired the general more than my med killed him, but that works out. So yeah, you can see they're pouring onto here. It's not, these are peltas that I'm fighting, by the way, so this is going to be an easy fight for right now. But I do want to, you know, get my forces in position here to repulse what is going to be needed here. Now, I knew that his, you know, the saying, your fast is your slowest unit. Well, that slowest unit is his artillery, and it's not going to arrive until way later in the battle. So I knew I had more than enough time to play cocky here and place my units in the front lines. Usually when I have a lot of units, like as many as I do, I think I almost had 40 in the siege, or either that or I did have 40. I had close to it. I usually do an aggressive defense strategy where I just hold at a certain point and continuously throw units at that single point until my opponent starts to outflank me, or if they were outflanking me, I would hold both points. And then after I realize, you know, frig, half the siege is over, I would retreat back at this point. And usually it is costly, but it's worth it, and that's what I'm doing here. You can see I am doing that exact aggressive defense. So I just ran my militia up. Each militia has one javelin, and I think that's ridiculous and overpowered, but I'll take advantage of it. I mean, I think almost all militia, except for the Greek ones, get, oh god, it's laggy, gets javelins. So this was very laggy to play, by the way, especially this area right here. So yeah, you can see what happens with this poor AI. So they are desperately trying to storm in here, and I'm just like, there wasn't even anything for me to do. I just sat my hoplites here and watched. Now this was frustrating. The freaking unit is shooting point blank because it's not technically in melee. That's frustrating, but didn't really matter. So at this point, I was actually really surprised that my opponent wasn't shooting me in the flank here. That unit would have broken very quickly. It's already down to 110. Now, I do realize this eventually in attack, but this was a slip from me. Probably one of my biggest so far in this entire campaign. I'm usually very clean on microing my units, but so I saw him do this and kind of reacted surprised here that he didn't do it sooner. He was just getting shot, but he doesn't actually ever end up putting the ladder there. He just wanted to bait me over, which worked, but I do move all my troops back, so I only still have to deal with one breach point. And I do, yeah, so here we go. I'm moving forward. I saw my unit wavering, and I'm like, hold on a minute. You're losing decisively, but there's not a single unit near you, like, fighting you. So yeah, I do move my units tighter here to, there we go. So now I'm engaged in melee with them. They can't fire anymore. Tricky AI there. So now this is what my opponent was waiting for, and I kind of wanted this, honestly. He's gonna shoot at my javelin men, which isn't bad, you know. It's a good target. However, the way I view it is javelin men are eventually gonna run out of javelins, or well, any skirmish unit for that matter. So why waste your skirmishers on other skirmishers when you could just let them use their ammo, let them get a bunch, like 100 kills or something, and then shoot the infantry from behind? That's, I almost never in siege battles waste arrows on other skirmishers or javelin men. In my opinion, it's a waste. I usually just shoot the infantry. Now, if I have to, I will shoot the other archers. In some circumstances, you do have to, but in this one, I think it was a waste. I would have just been after the Hoplites. Plus, I mean, I guess you can be a little bit expendable because you have 5 extra archers. So I mean, yeah, that's fine. But he's not even shooting the skirmishers. He was shooting the militia, by the way. He mistargeted there because I had the units together for a minute. So this does, by the way, this siege goes the entire 40 minutes, and that's why we put a 40-minute timer on it. It's simply because neither of us want to play a 60 siege minute battle, and I don't even think it's physically possible or fair for the defender to have to fight for 60 minutes to defend a settlement when in almost all circumstances, the enemy has won these sieges. The attacking force has won these sieges. However, I did actually lose one, taking Nicomedia. It wasn't. I actually think I killed more defenders than I took for casualties. What the heck am I doing here? I don't remember this. Oh yeah, I was thinking about retreating for a minute, but I decided to say screw it and just take the casualties and fight through the pain, which you can see that's a lot of pain right there. I am getting shot so much in the back. However, these aren't archers. These are, sorry, I'm trying to find the right buttons here. These are slingers, so they're not going to do as much damage. However, they do have more ammo and range, so that's the benefit of those. So I am trying to reposition. The AI wasn't actually getting over the walls. You can see they glitched. So they're stuck now. Oh my god, poor AI. So as I was saying, yeah, I did lose a siege at Nicomedia. But I only did the siege in the first place because I wanted to see if I could kill the reinforcing army. But when I realized the reinforcing army was on the other side of the city and he was going to get it in before I could get there, I decided to abort before I could get over the walls. Even though I did actually take the walls, I was getting shot to death, so it wasn't worth it. And a lot of my Galatians were unarmored, so eventually I was going to lose fighting against Hoplites in the streets. So yeah, right now the siege is very boring. It's just this one big blob right here, guys. There's really nothing I can do about it, because this is exactly what it was like for me and him. Like, we were very... Well, I was liking it because, I wanted to win, because I was just going to hold for the 40 minutes. I knew I couldn't beat this many troops. However, he needed to desperately get in if he wanted to fight me, win the siege. So at this point, I am going to say this and admit, I was very freaking confident. I didn't think I was going to lose this siege battle. So I do move back a lot of my troops because I realize his reinforcements are here. He's got a lot of archers. No point in letting him hit my Hoplites. That'd be a waste of Hoplites. I let my last units fight. I leave this token force of militia and tribesmen, some leftover slingers and crap, to defend. Not slingers, tribesmen. Slave javelin men. Sorry, guys. So finally the AI does actually get in here, and I was starting to lose my hope for holding this because of these archers. Now he does shoot the towers. Now this is definitely contradicting. I would have kept the towers alive and just taken the casualties. The reason for that is these towers are in range of this hill, so I wouldn't have been able to confidently hold this hill right here. Now obviously you could shoot that one and leave that one alive, because obviously you can see the range difference there. And so it has a way longer range. Well, because of its positioning, but they have the same range technically. So in my opinion, that was kind of a waste. However, I guess if you did do that, I'd just fall back to range in this tower. So that'd give me an extra bonus. But that would also give him the hill advantage. We'd both be fighting on the hill. So I didn't want that. I hold down here. You can see me running in more units of, I think, militia. Yeah. Just trying to use the towers to their fullest extent and do as much damage as I can to him. So far in the campaign, Mine and Massa Max's allies have been absolutely amazing in terms of supporting us. Now, this is starting to get desperate, and at this point, I would advise any siege player to just say screw it and get out of here. But as I said, I was going with an aggressive defense strategy, so I was not going to leave until every unit here is dead, except for, I think, this one. One or two of these units survive, but the others are going to perish fighting here. And you can see he's using a lot of ammunition on my Peltist Javelin men, but he doesn't realize that they are out of ammo right now. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. These are wins for me. Look at that. He's killing the units very quickly, but he's also wasting a lot of volleys. So those are volleys I won't get hit. My pikemen, or I guess you could say hublates, will not get hit. And I'm sorry if I sound different. I kind of just woke up. I wanted to get this done with early. I don't know about you guys, but I get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. What I do at 5 o'clock in the morning, that remains hidden information. So, my units here, there are so many units that my units aren't even fighting, simply because they're glitching at this point. They will, I do adjust them. Archers are moving over. He did burn that tower. Now that was a mistake, because that gives me the forest where I'm confidently fighting in. Now that I'm not getting shot. That I won't be getting shot. Now in the next siege we do, their allies had besieged it for a few turns, so they had like 9 siege ladders. So I wasn't gonna hold the walls at all. I actually just hold back to this hill, and I do pretty well. I do kill, I think, over 2,000, or no, just about 2,000, which for what I had was good. Sadly, that's obviously not the numbers I was shooting for. I was shooting for about 3,000, but wasn't gonna work with the army. So you can see I am running in my last reserves here. I'm getting shot to death. So like I said, you might think this is a mistake, but for me this is exactly what I wanted. He's shooting militia. That's good, but he has to. He has to shoot the militia because it's gonna take his flippin' allies an hour to get in here. So in a sense, he has to do that. Simply because the AI has been struggling for this long, they're gonna struggle for just the same amount. Now here, I was planning on going back down and pushing him back out of the city. I do adjust my strategy just a little bit because I think that was stupid after I realized the monumental task of doing that. Because I was thinking, you know, now he's in the walls, his units aren't that bad, and his allies of Macedon is right there with his reinforcing armies, so this is an awesome siege, by the way. Oh, and the reason my ally had his cab over here is because I almost always sally out with infantry. You know, 1 or 2 units here just to poke and probe, but this time I didn't because, yeah, of that cav. And I didn't have any cav. Even if I did, Illyrian cav kind of sucks. Their noble cav is pretty good, but... So yeah, I've got the AI pinned here. And I am sorry, this is very boring, but it gets better later on. There's still 17 minutes. Hold your horses, guys. I could actually probably just edit all this out, but I'm not going to. I mean, isn't this like the siege community's dream right here? Is to pin their enemy at one singular point and shoot them to death? Because that's what everyone does. Okay, I'm sorry. Siege players have their own skill. So you can see arrows are coming in. I actually, you know, I did quite a bit of sieges with some of my friends, but I kind of stopped because of the toxicity in them. I've never found cool siege players, really. Well, I have a few people, but most of them are always toxic because you do a tactic and they don't like it, and they, you know, wig out. They play the I'm the host type of guy. So, at this point, I realized there was no way I was gonna frickin' push this guy back out with all those arrows. I pull back, so you can see I do save 1 militia from all the other units that was here. Form phalanx in the woods. I pull back. I was pretty far out. That was kind of a mistake. Moving up these units, I wanted to hold this tower for a little bit just to get the extra casualties, and you can see he was, my lord, moving up the second ladder. Jeez, I sounded like Bugs Bunny there for a minute. I'm gonna yeah, there go the towers, so they're all dead now. So that was my main defense. you'll see at the end that the towers actually get quite a bit of kills. So the kills that you don't get, like if they have more losses than you killed, that's either from friendly fire or the towers, or they stepped on like a trap or something. I didn't actually have a trap in this. Wait, no, I did have traps. I didn't use them because I always freaking run into them. It's like, alright, it's like, you know, you're setting up your defense. You're like, alright, I'm never going to use this passage. I'll put a barricade down there so he can't use it. And then I'll go to flank him, and now I have to cut down my own barricade. And then eventually he realizes that I'm chopping through my own barricade. He just comes over and kills the unit. It always happens to me. Either that or I run over my own spikes. The way I set my defenses up is never the way I play it. This unit comes back in a minute, which is funny. I think it's just an Illyrian mercenary helpless.
Yes, Commander.
Come on. Yeah. So, he's coming up on those walls. Not much I can do about it. But yeah, you can see I immediately realized it and give an attack order there. So finally, they have penetrated my defenses, but it took them 30 minutes to do so. With a lot of casualties, and now at this point, the freaking AI just goes nuts. And just orders the entire flippin' army forward. He's shooting them in the back right now, which I thought was really funny. Yeah, here they go. It was kind of glitchy because there are actually a few of them inside the city somewhere. Here they are. Aw, darn it. Sorry, debug camera. So yeah, here they are. There's a few of them that were inside the city. They break almost instantly, but it's kind of funny. I just wanted to slow them down from getting on the towers. From getting on the walls, I mean. So yeah, they break almost instantly, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was a great attack. So, just kind of waiting for the AI at this point, and yeah, you can see what I mean. Look at all the bodies. Oh my god, it was carnage at this point. So they are moving up. I have a pretty good hoplite defense here. These hoplites are actually really good, and they look so cool. Look at their shields. That's the wrong one, darn it. I forgot how to do it. Thought it was... Alright, well... Really? It's not Control K? Is it Shift K? Guys, I actually forgot how to do the thing where the black bars come up. You know where you press... Is it Control? You can remove the leaves on trees? Alright, we're finding out new things apparently, whatever. I forgot how to do that thing where you go in cinematic mode and the black bars show up and the HUD goes away. So yeah, I do retreat from here. I realized there was no point in holding it. I had 2 frickin' militia against that, and even I know I'm not gonna win that. So his general, the poor frickin' guy, ran up into my pikemen and got ambushed by javelins. He eventually dies. I have no clue who this guy was or his importance. So yeah, there he goes. He dies. The enemy general is dead. I am getting shot though. And now I'm retreating my militia here. So you can see, look at what I have left that has not been touched. All of this has not been touched. At this point, I was being really cocky, and I didn't say it out loud, but I thought to myself, there's no physical way this guy's gonna get in this city win the siege battle. He's in the city, but I thought it was impossible. I didn't think he could get in. So he has his artillery set up. Now this was actually kind of wise because in the next battle, this stays here. So that gives his units a chance. So the AI just kind of throws in their first few units, mainly over here. Oh my god, it's just a freaking, it's a wave of Illyrians. They just keep coming. You can see, I react quickly. I got that unit into the, oh my god. Let's try this. Mithrophori Illyrioi Epidromes. What that means, I don't know. Illyrian mercenary raiders and yeah, the light infantry. So Got some weaker units just going down here. I got the tower advantage. Just gonna pin him down and keep him in place and let the arrows do the damage. Here comes, I guess, another result from these guys. Well, not another, it's just been a wave. However, he's not... The Illyrians actually aren't the main assault force for this side. We finally get to fight the Macedonians, moving up with their phalangites. These phalangites are really cool. They're the Basilikoi Peltastae Phalangite. They are really cool. They're just the Royal Pikemen. They're kind of better than the regular pikemen. Their pikes are just shorter. But yeah, I think they're better. I don't know how much. I don't know the cost difference, honestly. I haven't played Macedon in this game in I think a freaking year. I hate the faction, by the way. I can't stand the immobility of them. Their infantry is garbage. Sorry to say. And if you don't know, I'm talking about like base game, not DEI. In DEI, they're pretty cool, but in base game, their infantry is complete crap. They if you don't know, by the way, I hate thorax swords. I never use the unit. I think it's useless. I think it's one of the worst units in the game. But some factions like Bactria and Macedon literally depend on them, and that's why I don't play them. Bactria I'll play, but I won't bring thorax swords, and that usually comes back to bite me in the butt very quickly. So, over here, it's just another meat grinder of units dying. I reinforce just for safety with 3 Illyrian footmen. Where's the third one? Right here. I moved him over here. So here comes the first attack. We've got Agrionians and light phalanxes coming up. Light spears, I guess. He's got his phalangites in the back here, more Agrionians and light phalanxes. Now he's got his crappy helpletates coming up. So not really, at this point, look at the morale of these guys. It's all falling apart for them. There's no hope for these guys. At this point, I didn't think the Illyrians were much of a threat. I had succeeded in my plans of killing that army and holding the city. Now we're gonna see some epic forest fighting. Now, see, I thought it was the way. I was right. It's Control K. Why didn't it work before? See, I didn't think I was that much of a fool. This, I always like fighting in forests, especially on a hill in a city. Like, look at this. Look, oh my god. This is the screenshot of your dreams. So over here, javelins are just pouring down on these units. Now this was kind of a waste, but if you paid attention, you'd realize I was using my Illyrian footmen javelins and not my Illyrian javelin men, who were out of ammo. So, so at this point, there's nothing eventful happens over here. They just eventually do break and all die. So the main fighting is going to start up over here. So you can see he's being very aggressive now. He wanted to get in and win, but with 7 minutes, I'm pretty sure that's physically impossible. Here come the Illyrian footmen. I wanted to get a quick flank attack on him right here. So I get up very close and I swing right into that flank of Macedonian Hoplites and Agrionians, who are a very good unit, by the way. I think they're one of my favorites, the Agrionians. They are in the base game, but there's not an actual melee unit. It's technically a skirmisher with javelins and an axe. They do very well, though. They can't really take anything head-on, except for like a Threo spear, but still. For support, they're a very good unit. Now he's piling in more Hoplites, which Hoplites, they're good when they're in the position that they're in right now, but when you're attacking with them, I'm talking about DEI again, when you're attacking them, it's very difficult for them to get any damage, break through fast. I would say the Agrions are your best for this. Now here, this was absolutely hilarious. So he's got his phalangites moving up, and I saved 2 peltists, 2 skirmishers for this exact reason, and as soon as I see those peltists move over, I've got my javelin men coming over, and immediately he realizes it. He could see them coming up. He was watching, and so we're on voice chat, and he knows me. He knows me when it comes to shooting pikemen with javelins, and so he's freaking out and gets out of there very quickly when he sees them. He doesn't see him yet because he wanted to get in, but You can see he raises his pike and turns his unit around as soon as he saw the javelin men coming up. I do get some shots in his back right there just for fun, and then I retreat them. Over here in this forest, not much really happens. It's just a grinding match. I have support from my Illyrian javelin in there. He's not going to do well, but just sort of a fodder unit. So at this point, really guys, there isn't, if I can speed it up I will, but it's going to be laggy I think. Yeah. So, I would speed it up, but really at this point there's not much eventful happening. I am just shooting him in the flank with javelins. The ending is awesome. It's hilarious. So really, my plan succeeded in holding this, but the next siege we have, like I've been saying, completely screws me over having used this aggressive defensive strategy because it cost me so many men that I had to just hold this hill and that gateway. Which I do inflict casualties, but I could have done way better. And you can see all his units are literally breaking. They're all in red morale, except for 1 and 2. But they will all eventually go to red morale and break. So, yeah. However, he did capture this tower, which was smart, because it was shooting me the entire time. So, okay, here it goes. Here it comes. So, I'm a pretty good defender, alright? However, I knew for a fact I was going to win. At this point, I decide to throw salt in his wounds completely here. You can see I'm moving forward. Now, just this is going to come back to bite me in my butt because he's going to get hard revenge on me for this. So I'm moving up my Hoplites. He sees it. He goes in phalanx. Now, he just thinks I'm going for a quick attack on his guys here. But I was going for more than a quick attack on his guys. I spotted an opportunity to be the biggest jerk in the world here. I got my Hoplites moving forward. I do eventually run them and get them out of phalanx just so they could engage him so he couldn't run away. So he engages the Hoplites, which are going to get devoured in this fight. I knew they were going to lose. And I'm charging over here because he was retreating because he realized he couldn't win. I'm inflicting heavy casualties as he runs. So, if he engage, and now he's stuck. If he runs, he's going to take a bunch of casualties. There's literally nothing he can do but eventually win. So, I see my opportunity, and I come down with the javelin men. And it doesn't start for a little bit. You'll realize what I'm talking about. But you can see I am getting wrecked here in this fight. He's already down to 185. And over there, I'm about to break through. 181. And he is coming over here to help. By the way, he realizes that I'm pushing. 178. 175. 174. 171. So I get... This is like a middle finger to someone after you win the battle. I wanted to leave a lasting impression on him. One that he wouldn't forget. So you can see, I pin. This pikeman becomes a pin cushion and is literally pushed back to the amount of javelins that is thrown on them. It's absolutely hilarious what happens to this poor pikeman. He's down to 130 now. And you can see my guys are routing, but there's 2 minutes left in the battle. These guys are dying over here. They're about to break. Over here, though, he did actually catch me off guard because I charged. I did do a lot of damage, but now he's coming in with his general and helping out. So he finally is able to run away, but it's too late. He's down to 114. That was awesome. So obviously that was just for fun. But he's scared now because he's running all his pikemen out of the city. So I retreat my last Hoplite back. He surrounds and kills the last of my guys. At this point, though, it was already over. Oh, and as he runs away, I charge him. I wanted to get some more casualties on him. He gets away, though. And his general was right there, so I wasn't going to fight down here. So, 1 minute. This was a bloody siege for both of us. This was one heck of a battle. But the real loser here was his Dardanoy allies, because right as the siege is about to end, they lose all their units, and the entire army is completely wiped out. Obviously, these poor guys had another army coming, but it was just a bad flippin' day for them. They had took the brunt of the siege, but honestly, Macedon was the one doing all the damage because he had his archers supporting, and they killed all my units. They actually did, like, you know, the real damage in the battle. Those last units are about to break, and the siege is going to end in a minute. So, victory for me. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, this was technically his first defeat. Like, you know, it actually said defeat on the screen. And this was kind of funny because this was at the same time of my first defeats. So you can see the deployed there. So, oh, yeah. So he had, yeah, I was right when I said those numbers. So this was about 16,000 men. So sadly, you can't see my garrison army. You can only see my main army here that was in the city. But you can see, look at the kills on the Hublates. Those were awesome kills. This guy got 300. This guy got 135. Then these guys were at the start. They did pretty good. This unit did good. Okay. This guy did pretty good. He shot over the walls and broke that unit at the start. And sadly, you can also not see the army of his. You can only see his first army. And then this poor freaking guy. The dude sacrificed his entire army. Look how many casualties he took. So yeah, you can see I only killed 2,700, but they lost like 3,000. So it was one heck of a siege, and you can see, look, this is the real loser actually. This phalange that got shot by my peltist. So if you don't know, Max hates getting shot by peltist. It's pikemen at least. I think it's freaking hilarious, but you can see the slave javelin men that I shot him with did really good. There was 5 others, but those were in the other army. So yeah, you can't see my garrison army, which is kind of dumb, but it was just militia and stuff, the crappier units of the army. You can see the main units here never got touched, my good units at least. But the problem is in the next siege, like I said, I do lose, but I do take down about 2,000 men with me. So yeah, guys, that's about it. The battle map, right? Not the battle map, the campaign map. I can actually technically show you it, I guess. I'll do that real quick. I'll show you what our land borders encompass. Obviously, this is the most recent, so as you can see, I've grown quite a bit. Max has grown quite a bit. So it's heating up, to say the least. we're extending our kingdoms now. So, that's all, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.